and welcome back to We the People Prepping. This is Dan. I'd like to talk to you today about your health, both mental and physical. Right now, I understand, it's kind of hard to get out and exercise with all the lockdowns and everything going on, but myself, I've got some health problems, and I'm trying to get them corrected. And here's the thing, a lot of us don't prep our health. We spend our time prepping food and water and things like that. But how many of us actually take the time and prepare our health for an SHTF? Okay? Now, it was only 5 years ago that I was 180 pounds. I used to get out and exercise a lot. I drove for a different company than I do now, and probably through my own freight, which helped to keep me in shape. And before that, I was hauling cars, so I'm climbing up and down on the trailer, strapping the cars down and so forth. But in the last few years, I have been, hauling no-touch freight, dropping hook. So I don't get out and I don't get the exercise that I need like I should. And frankly, a lot of places that I go to won't even let you get out of your truck to walk around. Even the truck stops are getting bad about this. I was walking around the truck stop, and just around the perimeter of it, I wasn't walking through the lot or nothing, but security pulled up there and told me that I couldn't be walking around the property. And I told them, look, I'm just trying to get a little exercise. I sit behind the wheel 11 hours, and I'd like to get out and stretch my legs and get a little exercise in. And they're like, well, you're too big of a liability. You could get ran over. I'm like, oh, well, first off, I'm walking around in the grass on the perimeter. They go, yeah, but we've had trucks before that have jumped the curb and came off into the grass and so forth. And I'm like, okay, I'll go back to my truck. And I used to do exercises outside my truck at truck stops and on shipper and receiver's properties and stuff, and they pretty much put a stop to me doing that. So for me to get out and exercise is getting kind of hard, and there's really not a lot of room in my truck to exercise, to be honest with you. I mean, it's getting harder to get in the exercise, so I get it in where I can. I'll lay in the bunk and do some half-ass sit-ups. They're kind of hard to do in the bunk, and I smack my head on the cabinet so if I come up too high. But when I'm at home, I do try to get out and exercise a lot more. I go out to the bug out location and I do some work out there, and it gives me a good workout. I need to buy some more dirt bikes and stuff. So I used to have dirt bikes and four-wheelers and go out mudding all the time and just running the trails and stuff like that. And believe it or not, riding a 252 stroke dirt bike out on the trails through the woods, it give you a hell of a workout to control that bike, especially you kick in the power band and you're running through there 40-50 mile an hour. You better be quick on your reflexes, and you better be able to throw that bike around where you need it. But a lot of us haven't been getting the exercise that we need, especially this year being locked down. And I'm just like anybody else. I will make excuses not to work out. I will make excuses to keep from getting exercise. But I've watched over the last 5 years my health decline. I've noticed limited, range of movement because I'm not as active as I used to be. My COPD's gotten worse, and of course a lot of that has to do with the fact that I do smoke. I need to quit, but I've been doing it for so long I don't know if I could. I mean, I've been smoking through it for 35 years. I've tried in the past, and I guess I just don't want to bad enough. But right now I've been going to the doctor to get. Well, I went just last month. I went to the doctor and got a full-out physical, blood work, everything. Later on this month, they want me to come in and do a pulmonary test. See how my heart and everything, how my blood flow is. See if I've got any blockages. I'm just hoping I don't have to do that damn stress test again. I hate that thing. But I was told during my full-out physical that I am borderline diabetic. I'm not needing insulin or nothing like that, but they said if I don't start to take better care of myself, lose some weight, get some more exercise, that within the next few years it's very possible I could be an actual diabetic. And if that happened, I wouldn't be able to be an over-the-road truck driver like I am now. So I need to get that under control, because I've been doing this for so long. I really don't want to go work in a factory or nothing like that. And I'm too old to go back to being a bodyguard. So, I'll do what I got to do to get my health back under control. My arthritis is getting worse, but I'm going to the doctor. I'm trying to get these things all worked out, because if it hits the fan, I need to be in better shape than I am right now. And a lot of us are that way. We're overweight, or we have some sort of health problems, things that'll hinder us in doing what we need to do. Like earlier this summer, well, actually it was last fall, not this past fall, but the one before. Me and my brother and my wife and the kids and my brother's old lady, we were all out. We went camping with the kids, and let me tell you, that's a trip. So if you're planning on bugging out with kids, try going camping with them for a weekend, and because my current wife's kids are fairly young. One just turned 12, and the other one just turned 9. And so they are a handful, especially. Their father has custody of them, and he doesn't believe in discipline. So when they come over to my house, then they learn that I'm all about discipline, and I will not put up with the bull that he puts up with. And so I've pretty much got them trained now, so that they know when they're at my house, the stuff they get away with at their dad's house doesn't fly. But anyhow, we were out camping, and we were walking trails, and there's a lot of really steep hills and valleys and little washouts and gullies and stuff that we were going through. Well, we were traversing a little creek, and I slipped. I slipped on some moss on the rocks, and in the process of catching myself and going down at the same time, I twisted my knee and pulled both my hamstrings, and we were deep in the woods at the time. Deep in there. We were good 2-3 miles in, and I had to traverse my way back out, and barely being able to walk, because my legs hurt so bad, my knees were twisted up, and it was a very painful situation, and it did not make for a good of the rest camping trip. The next couple of days I was hurting, but I fashioned myself a walking stick to help me to climb back out and everything, and it took a little longer than what it normally would to get through there, but I still had creeks I had to go through, I had hills I had to climb, and with my legs hurting the way they were, I could barely By the time we got out of the woods, I could barely even stand up. I was in so much pain, and I don't like painkillers. I mean, I'll take them if I have to, but I try to avoid them. So I did use a lot of so what is it? Crap, I can't remember the name of it now. It's kind of like Icy Hot, but it's not. Anyhow, I rubbed my legs down and everything. I mean, I smelled like a medicine factory because of all this stuff, But it showed me just how out of shape I am now. The age has caught up with me. My body can't do a lot of the things it used to do. And so I'm slowly trying to get myself back to a good physical condition. It's not that easy. I've started to lift some weights again, just to kind of build my strength back up. Because I've noticed over the last few years, I have my muscles started turning to fat from inactivity. Used to be, I didn't have man titties, and now I'm starting to get them. And you'd come up and you'd try to grab a hold of my nipple or whatever, and you couldn't grab nothing. I mean, it was solid. Now it's got a little flap there, and I don't like that. My belly's gotten a lot bigger. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, like I said, I was 180 pounds 5 years ago. I was in great physical shape. Didn't have no real health problems. I mean, yeah, I've always had COPD for a long time. But I mean, no borderline diabetes or nothing like that. My arthritis, I was kept in check because I was very active, so it helped to keep my joints all limbered up. But now, I've kind of lost all of that because of my inactivity, and it's going to be a long battle to get back to where I was or where I should be. I realize I'm getting up there in the years, and it's not as easy as it used to be. But I mean, when I go from 180 pounds up to 261, that's a hell of a leap. Yeah, it took years to do it, but I packed on a lot of weight, and I don't like it. So it's time to find a way to get rid of it. And honestly, I don't eat that much. A lot of people say that, but honestly, I don't. The problem is the things that I do eat, because there's not a lot of choices for me out here on the road as to what to eat. I really need to start bringing my own food with me so I don't have to eat all the garbage. I mean, I keep emergency rations in the truck, Spam and stuff like that, canned chicken and all that kind of stuff, but that's high in sodium and high in fat, and it's stuff that's really not that good for me. I need to start bringing some fresh fruits and veggies and stuff with me like I used to. It used to be, I'd carry like celery and some peanut butter and apples, oranges. I ate a lot of salads and stuff. I haven't done that a lot lately. But see, I've also got to go in this year. I put it off for a long time, but I've got to get back into a dentist, and I'm going to have all of my teeth extracted because what is it, about 12, 13 years ago, something like that. I lost all my top teeth. They got snapped off to where they're just like little stubs sticking out of the gums. I was down in West Memphis, Tennessee, Arkansas, right there on the border, and actually I was in Tennessee, I guess you could call it, because I'd stopped at the Pilot truck stop. Anyhow, I got out of the truck, and you're supposed to climb out backwards and all that. Well, I don't do that anymore because of what happened. It was late at night. I was hauling a load of tobacco products, and somebody had followed me for 400 miles, wanting to hijack my truck. Well, I didn't know it, but I'd parked and I was doing some paperwork and stuff, and I decided to go in and get something to eat while they were watching me the whole time. So I started to climb out of the truck backwards, and as soon as I turned around, I got hit in the face with a tire thumper, and it snapped off all my top teeth. Well, I won't go into detail, but they didn't get my truck. I did go to the hospital, and my truck was taken into protective custody because of the high value of its load and everything. But it snapped off all my top teeth. You can tell I still got my bottoms, but my tops are pretty much gone. And I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Well, here lately they've been really causing me some pain, which is something I'm not going to want to have to endure during an SHTF. So I am just going to go in and have all of my teeth pulled out and have plates. It is what it is. I've got to think about that because, with my top teeth being bad like they are now, that can cause a myriad of health problems. It can help lead to heart disease, among other things. I have a tooth up there that has a tendency it'll get infected. So that can actually lead to all sorts of health problems there. So I'm going in to get these things taken care of. See, these are things that most of us put off, and we put them off, and we put them off because we don't have the money, or we don't have the time, or just one excuse after another. We put off taking care of our health. We take for granted that our health is just going to be there until it isn't, and we don't go to the doctor like we should. I had every test possible ran when I went to the doctor, including STD tests, just for the hell of it. I come back clean as a whistle, but my cholesterol's high, my blood sugar's a little high. Surprisingly, my blood pressure was great. It was 123/62, which is really good considering how big I am and how much cholesterol they found in my system. But I've got to change my diet. I've got to start getting things under control, because if anything, this past year, 2020, has shown me that shit can go downhill real quick, and you never know what's going to happen. And I want to get myself in a condition where I can go and survive in the woods like I used to. Whenever I used to love to go out and just do weeks on end during vacation or whatever. I'd go out. If I had a 2-week vacation, I'd go out for 2 weeks and just live out in the woods and survive out in the woods. All I would bring with me is my bug out bag, which has a little pop-up tent in it and everything. And I would eat what I found out in the woods. I would kill my own food and eat it. I'd fish for my own food, throw out trout line of a night. Wake up in the morning, I had fresh fish for breakfast, But I don't know if I could do that still. But the way things are going, I might wind up having to do that for a life or death situation for a while. You never know. We all need to make sure that we're in the shape that we need to be in for whatever may come down the line within the next year. Because I really don't feel that this year is going to be any better than what last year was, and I have a feeling it's actually going to get worse. So I'm going to try to work myself out And I would hope that those of you out there watching this would take into consideration your health, and go to the doctor if you've been putting it off. Get that full physical done. Find any health problems before they find you. Get screened for everything. Like in my family, colon cancer has killed many members of my family on both sides. So at a young age, I had to start, when I was in my 30s, I had to start getting colon screenings because of that. Find out what your problems are. Like I have a prostate issue because I sit so much and I get bounced around in the truck. So it's enlarged my prostate a bit. But these are things that can be taken care of if I start taking care of them now, rather than to keep putting them off and putting them off. And that's what I'm trying to get across to everybody out here is take the time. I realize money can be an issue, but your health is worth more than the money. Okay, so take the time and the money, go to the doctor, get any health problems diagnosed and corrected while you still have the chance. Because if you do have any health problems that you don't really know about, but they're there, they can catch them, in fact, get it taken care of, because in an SHTF, you're not going to have that option. You're not going to be able to go to a doctor and say, hey, give me this, give me that, do this, do that. Your health will decline at a rapid pace because you won't have the necessary medical care. So get these things taken care of. Get your teeth fixed, any surgery you need done. Get it done, get it over with, get it out of the way. Just take care of your health problems now. Okay? Now, as far as mental goes, I suffered from depression after I lost my wife. And, I was in a really bad place. Now, you can beat the depression, and you can do it without the drugs and all that. You just have to surround yourself with positive people, for one, to begin with. Get rid of all that negativity. Be around the people that actually care and want to help you. Okay, because you'll hear a lot from people, I'm here if you need me, but when you need them, they're never anywhere around. Honestly, everybody, when my wife passed away, if you need me, call me, I'll talk to you anytime. Well, I'd call them up, they were all too busy to talk to me, they had this going on or that going on. So, I didn't have anybody really to depend on that I could talk to. I finally found people that were supportive. If you need to, join a support group. They have online support groups, they have in-person support groups. There's all sorts of support groups for people that are going through whatever you're going through. There was a lot of grief groups that helped me through the times that I was going through. But one of my big suggestions is just learn to meditate. Learn to control your emotion through meditation. I meditate quite frequently, actually. All you really need is a quiet place. And, there's nothing to it. Just let yourself relax, let go of whatever's bothering you. I found a lot of times that meditation and prayer go hand in hand. Because while I'm sitting there by myself, and it's quiet, nobody around, no distractions going on, I'll find myself talking to God. I may not necessarily say the words out loud, but I'll talk to him in my head, or sometimes I do talk to him out loud. If that makes me crazy, then okay, I'm crazy. But believe it or not, prayer can help you through your depression. It can help you through a lot of things. Okay? I'm not saying that if you're on meds to just stop taking your meds or nothing like that, but I prefer myself to find other ways besides medication. And doctors are really quick to prescribe you medication too. Let me tell you, when I went in, this is funny, my wife and me both laughed about this. She was there with me when I went for my physical and everything. And the doctor's in there talking to me, and he's asking me about my life and all that. And I got no problem sharing my life with people. And, we got around on the subject of how my second wife passed away and everything that had happened and all that. And, he asked me how I'm doing now. I told him I'm fine. I'm happy. I've got a good woman again. My life's going pretty good. It has its ups and downs just like anybody else does. And that stupid son of a tells me that I need to go on Prozac. Tells me, you need to be medicated. And I'm like, why do I need this medication? He goes, you're depressed. I go, Bunny, I've been depressed. Now, I can tell you right now, I am not depressed. I am happy with my life. Are there things that could be better? Yes. But things could be a hell of a lot worse. And, the things that are going on in the world, they affect me to a certain extent, just like they do anybody. My freight's down because there's not a lot moving out here. So, I get a little stress from that. I'm not making the kind of money I used to make, but I am by no means depressed. And he's, well, you need to take this Prozac. So he writes me a script for it, and we walk out of there, and I just ripped it up and threw it away. Okay? I know when I'm depressed. Okay? When I was depressed, I had no energy. I didn't want to do anything. I had constant thoughts of harm to myself and all that kind of stuff. I don't have any of that anymore. Okay? I am by no means depressed. I'm content with my life. I found a good woman. I've rebuilt my life from where it was. I was in a bad place. I was homeless. That's the thing, is they always want to say, oh, well, you're depressed, you need this medication or you need that medication, and a lot of times you're not depressed. Just to be honest, a lot of times they're just pushing meds on you that you don't need and you don't want. Meds to make you more docile, make you fall in line easier. I think that's what a lot of this is about, is to help, control you. I don't need the meds. I don't want the meds. I'm not taking the meds. Okay? I don't want to be that drooling imbecile sitting there just, rocking back and forth and smiling. Okay? That's not happiness, and that is not a cure for, depression. If you are feeling depressed, find somebody that you can talk to. If you need somebody to talk to, email me. I have no problem talking to you. You can tell me all your problems. I will not discuss them with anybody else. Okay? Hell, who knows? I may have been through something that you're going through, and I may be able to give you advice to help you through it. That's what we're here for, is to help one another. But don't necessarily be convinced that you need medication. But try to get yourself in a good mental place. I know it's hard with everything that's happened over the last year. But if you stop dwelling on the bad things and start focusing on the things that were good in your life and have been good in your life all this past year, things, people have lost their homes, their jobs, all that kind of stuff. But there's also a lot of positive things that have probably happened in your life, just like in mine. So if you just focus on those rather than focusing on the bad. Because if you focus on the bad, you're going to depress yourself. You know, I mean, any day above ground is a good day. You know, and it's never too late as long as you're still breathing. You can fix whatever needs to be fixed. As long as you got blood pumping through your veins and oxygen in your lungs. You know, I mean, things get bad, things get good. That's the way of life. It's how we deal with it that defines who we are. Okay? So, you know, focus on your health, both mental and physical. You know, I mean, one of the things that bothers me, I've heard a lot here lately on a lot of the prepping chat rooms, is people talking about wanting war, you know, and itching to go to war. This is something that you definitely don't want. You haven't thought through. Okay? And they're talking about getting mentally prepared for war and all that. I'm going to tell you flat out, there is no mental preparedness for war and the horrors that come with it. And if you think that it's easy to take another person's life, you better think again. Okay? Because that is something that will haunt you every day of the rest of your life. Okay? You will see that person in your mind. Every time you close your eyes. I mean, there is no preparing yourself for that. I can guarantee you that. Okay? You will never be able to deal with that like you think. I mean, look, if it was that easy to do, we would not have so many soldiers that suffer from PTSD. Okay? There is no way to prepare you for it. Otherwise, the military would already prepared the soldiers for the fact that they're going to have to take lives. Yes, you can train to do it, but to get mentally prepared, there is no real way to do that. And you're fooling yourself if you think that you can do it and there won't be any consequences. Because there are consequences to it. It will haunt you all of your life. And it can drive you insane. Okay? I mean, I will give you an example. My uncle went through Korea and Vietnam. And he was at one point, he was a POW. And he was tortured. He took a lot of lives. And he took a lot of torture. And that man would wake up in the middle of the night screaming his friends' names that were killed. He would wake up screaming about Viet Cong. I mean, the man had PTSD so bad. I was staying at his house when I was a kid. When I was younger, I should say. And he had a flashback while he was sleeping. And he jumps up out of his bed. He's still asleep. He's running through the house screaming about incoming and all sorts of stuff, you know. And the dog, he had this beautiful German Shepherd. The dog got in his way while he was running through there. He snapped the dog's neck. Okay? He killed his own dog. And he dove over the furniture, and I mean, it was a nightmare. You know, it scared the crap out of me. And he didn't know that he had done any of this stuff. Okay? That is one of the repercussions of war. There is no mental preparedness for what horrors war brings. So if you think that you can mentally handle taking another person's life, you think you're prepared for that, you need to reevaluate your thinking, because you are not prepared for that. I could tell you some stories about stuff that I have done and that haunt me to this day. But this video's starting to run a little long. I just want people to stop and think about what they're asking for. I wish each and every one of you peace, happiness, tranquility, and that God would bless you and keep you. This has been Dan with We the People. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me ramble on, and hopefully I've helped you in some way. If you like my content, please hit the subscribe and share button. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that little bell icon and be notified about any future videos. I'll talk to you later. God bless each and every one. Bye-bye.